Hi, MC Bling Daddy here, and welcome back to a series exploring the use of command blocks for coding a program like you might a high-level language such as C# or Java. And today what we're going to do is to basically continue the last segment where we looked at how to use naming or names for naming coding segments. And what we ended up with was a name for our loop, which was loop, and allowed us to basically execute that set of command blocks using the name rather than using an absolute location as we had before. What we're going to do today to continue this process is to execute a named segment, whereas in the past we had finished our loop by starting the loop over again. What we're going to do is we are going to take out those command blocks that filled in front of our minecart with dirt, air, and rails, and then moved the minecart itself with the transport command. So let's get rid of those and fill in where we were actually with, let's try this, instead of using these repeaters, we are going to use redstone. So let's see, where do we start here? Redstone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots of redstone should get us from our beginning of the loop to the location where we do our test for the location of the minecart. As you'll notice, we're going to send it a little bit further, but what we are going to do is we are going to execute a named group of command blocks, which are named add x, which will add in the x direction more dirt, air, and rails and move our minecart. And that is the set of blocks over here where we will fill with dirt, air, and so on. The very last thing that we have to do though is get back to our loop, and so we have the same command as we had before, well, I should say in our other command block that we first looked at, which is to basically set a redstone torch at the beginning of our loop, which is the same thing that we had over in the other command block, and which starts off the loop by placing a redstone torch that activates the redstone dust, etc. Okay, so one thing that we have yet to do, and I wanted to demonstrate for you, was that we don't have to put down the minecart and then in later steps name it and give it a command. We can actually do those excuse my typing. And let's see, this is one positive in the x direction from where we are, but it's also one negative in height because it's a block below us, and it happens to be at the same z direction, at the same z coordinate, which runs from left to right. And what we're going to do is we are going to put in the name, which is started with, or which is initialized as custom name, and then we are going to put in the command, which is, and I'm going to finish things off first, I like to do that so I don't forget something, which is set block, and we have to do it one to the left, which is where the torch will appear, and that is in the Z direction, actually the negative Z direction, but the X coordinate will be the same, the Y coordinate will be the same, it's at the same elevation, and as I said, the Z direction, in the Z direction, it is 1 to the north, which is -1. And then just to verify, we have the rest of our command characters that we need. And let's see what we did. And first of all, well, and the only thing I'm going to actually check is to see that our command was set correctly, and it was not. Good thing I checked, because what we need to do is we need to set block to air, okay, which when the torch appears here, it will activate this minecart command block, and the torch will be removed so that the segment can be repeated again by placing another torch, and it will reactivate after the command block has been deactivated. Okay, so let's take a look and see if we are if we have coded things correctly. And it looks like we have. So let's take a quick look here and see. Okay, here is our command blocks, and our secondary segment of command blocks, our add X, has been executing. And so let's take a look over here and see what has happened. And we have moved our minecart forward. Let's take a look here and see where we are. I hope to get the X and Y coordinates roughly equal, and they're not quite there. The X is 30 and the Z is, well, 32. X is 32 and Z is between 35 and 33. Z is 34, so almost, so close. Okay, let's go back then and do one more thing, and that is that I want to actually start moving it diagonally. So let's see, where are we? Where does our loop end? Our loop ends over here, and I have set up a third set of command blocks and have named them add, not X, but XZ, so that they will go diagonally, incrementing both in the X and the Z direction simultaneously, one at a time. And just so you can take a quick look at it, we add dirt and so on, but our command has a slightly different content of coordinates, which will move it in that direction, in the diagonal direction. And so let's take a look. Oh, one more thing that I need to do, and that is to set our test so that the radius is a little bit further. So let's set it for, let's say 65, so that we extend on a bit further. And where are we here? So let's take a look. Okay, there we go. We started off. In this case, we are... Oops, doesn't look like I caught it quite in time. I had the wrong loop. It was this loop over here. Let's take a look and see. So, entity data, and we want entity. We want to see what this entity is, and it's the one that's right under us. And the name of this one is, let's see if I can find it here easily. Okay, oops. The 1, 2, 3, 4th line down, custom name, add XZ. Okay, so I got the wrong one. I was looking at the wrong one. I apologize for that, but just realized that the repeaters would have lit up in the sequence just like we did before. And let's take a look and see where we are. Okay, so we extended our railway diagonally, and so we now have 3 alternatives for extending our railway. Next time we'll take a quick look at a different kind of loop so that we have a little bit better control on where things start and where things end up. Well, not where things start, because that's wherever the minecart happens to be, but where things end up, and we will look at what's called a for loop. Well, thanks for watching. That's about it for now.